Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friendly neighborhood president's guy. Been gone for a little bit. I got the flu, been real sick, but finally starting to feel better. But tonight's live stream, the whole point is going to be talking about what the fuck is going on in Iran. As we know, yesterday, Israel and the United States carried out strikes against Iran, left the Ayatollah dead. Apparently, one of their former presidents is reported today is also dead. There have been retaliatory strikes by Iran throughout the region, hundreds of them thus far, into Israel. They've attacked Saudi oil fields. They are just bombs back and forth. They've attacked a U.S. naval base. At least 3 U.S. servicemen are dead. I've heard reports as high as 6. And it's already apparent that oil prices are spiking. So we're going to see how that goes tomorrow. See how the U.S. markets are recovering. But let's just see, where do we go from here? Because Trump is yet again starting wars he doesn't have the authorization to start. Now, for full transparency, I don't actually mind attacking Iran in the abstract for a couple of reasons. One, there needs to be regime change there, which Trump isn't going to do, because it seems like, just like in Venezuela, he's just going to put the next person that's in line in charge, and not much is going to change. He's already said there's going to be 4 or 5 weeks at least of this going on, so who knows where that's going to lead to. And it's also going to make Trump terribly unpopular, which means that Texas, Alaska, even maybe Ohio might just flip in this midterm. It's as if he's doing everything he can to do the dumbest things possible, which is pretty par of the course for Donald Trump, but just absolute insanity. There was a shooting in Austin, Texas last night that appears to have been terrorism related. That probably would not have happened if not for this. So the real question is, how many Americans' blood is going to be on the president's hands because of this? Conservative estimates is going to be hundreds, if not thousands. Depends on, is he going to send troops to Iran? What is Congress going to do about this? And all of this under the guise of keeping them from getting a nuclear weapon, which he claims last July was already obliterated. Now, are there any positives in this situation? And I would say yes, there are. Assuming Iran has successful regime change, which I don't think it will, that would then cut off Russia's biggest purchaser of oil and funding, and basically, Iran has been the biggest sponsor, of terror in the Middle East for a long time. So that would help there. Israel would eventually elect a less far right government because Netanyahu's whole thing has been taking out Palestine and Iran, and now he's done those things. So it might eventually make Israel a little more friendly to global peace. But it's just astonishing to me how people voted for lower gas and no wars, and now he's starting more wars that are going to spike the gas because Iran is attacking Saudi Arabian oil. Who buys Saudi Arabian oil? The United States. So I'm predicting that the price of gas will go up anywhere from 50 cents to $1 by the end of the year from this. And that might happen even sooner. And it's a shame to see just how gullible and dumb Trump supporters really are. If they think after all this time, anything he's doing is helping to achieve peace. He's ended no wars, absolutely zero. He's not ended 8 or 9, he's ended none. Israel and Palestine are still fighting. Ukraine and Russia are still fighting. Cambodia and Thailand are still fighting. India and Pakistan are still fighting. Pakistan and Afghanistan are fighting now. There is no peace. There is no stability. And sure, he's still got 3 more years to figure it out. But based on his track record, I would not be holding my breath. Now, what happens, in your opinion? Do you think this is actually the first good thing Trump has actually done? And I think so, as big as Trump hater. So again, in a vacuum, if this went the way it's supposed to, it's actually not that bad. Because Iran is not a nice place. They're not nice to their people. And that's another thing. If Trump was going to do this, why not do it 3 weeks ago before they killed 10,000 protesters? But as history shows, whether it be Iraq or Afghanistan, the Persian Gulf, North Korea, Vietnam, we're not really good, excuse me, at affecting regime change in other places in the world. in and of itself, I support the Shah of Iran, and I think most of the people there do too. But I don't think we're going to see a democratic government pop up. But in and of itself, it's not the worst thing Trump's ever done. It's just he's too stupid to do it right. So it's only going to lead to problems. And people shat themselves when 13 servicemen died under Biden. So let's see if they really hold true to their convictions and morals and if they're pissed off about these servicemen being killed over there. And when the gas prices inevitably go up, we'll see uh, how people respond to that, or if they'll just come up with more coping mechanisms, as is part of the course with Trump supporters. But I'm not holding my breath. But I mean, this is destroying the right. You've got people like a lot of the isolationists, people who like JD Vance, but people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Marjorie Taylor Greene that are just absolutely furious about this. The idea of American intervention is not popular. Trump is really governing like a neocon, which is hilarious because he spent all of the 2000s talking shit about Bush and Obama, saying, "Oh, Obama's unpopular. He's going to attack Iran," which is now what he has done. He is historically unpopular. He's attacked Iran. So this, coupled with a terribly bad State of the Union, it is as if Trump is trying to give away the midterms. I mean, they're already going to be bad. At this point, we might get a Democrat governor elected here in Georgia, which has not happened in like 30 years. So it's just a shit show. Because Trump is poised, if he really wanted to, and he was able to convince Thomas and Alito to step down, he could get 2 more Supreme Court picks. But at this rate, he's going to hand the Senate to the Democrats, and if they were smart, they would hold all judicial appointments. They would not give him another judge for the rest of his term, just to make up for the 2 picks that were stolen, um, one from Obama, one from Biden. But it's at this point we're just watching to see what Iran is going to blow up next. What else is going to happen here? How many more people do we have in this country that are going to do something like they did at that club in Austin last night? Are they going to, are they going to strike here anywhere? I mean, stuff like this is how 9/11 happened, because we get our nose in places that, it shouldn't be. You know, we can't have peace. Iran didn't want to have a deal, but just a shame. But just the worst president of all time. And the question is, how far is Israel going to take this? How far is the United States going to take this? Trump says he's willing to go 4 or 5 weeks, but what does that look like? You've already killed their leader. You're killing former leaders. Uh, they're already retaliating against our naval bases and our things in the region. So, how much damage are we willing to accept? When Trump says 4 to 5 weeks, you really should be saying 4 to 5 years, because that's probably what's going to happen. Unless Congress, just straight up comes out and says that we're not going to let this happen, but I'm not holding my breath. I know I keep saying that, but so I'm probably gonna have to update my midterm election video, because I think this is going to drastically alter the course of where that's going now. But what does everyone think? Let me know down in the comments your thoughts about the whole Iran situation. What you think Trump is going to do, what you think he should do, and what you think the fallout's going to be. Trump is not indicating in any way that he's going to back meaningful regime change. Um, so it just seems like more peacocking and really distraction from all his domestic issues, which is, that's kind of been the hallmark of American foreign policy for the last 30 years, is when your domestic policy is going shit, you start doing foreign policy. But he's not doing that very well either. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. how bad is this going and how much worse is it going to get. I appreciate everyone watching. We'll see you next time. And remember, never stop learning.